Hello and welcome to Cityscope, a podcast where we talk about City of Salina services, projects, and initiatives in depth. I'm your host, David Hawksworth, and on today's program we have Natalie Fischer, who's the Director of Human Resources for the city. Natalie, welcome.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
Always a lot of things going on in the Human Resources Department. I think something people want to know is how many full-time positions are at the city and how many are waiting to be filled at this point?
Yeah, great question. If we had every one of our full-time roles filled, we would have, I believe, 508 full-time, and then we have an additional 12 part-time positions.
Mm-hmm.
Currently, we are sitting at about 465 of those total filled.
Okay, right. So 80-some%?
Yeah.
I can't do the math in my head that fast.
Yeah, it's, we definitely have some openings, but over the past few years, we're making some great progress.
I know one of the things that people talked about in the past is that we've had a shortfall of police officers. How is that going? How's the hiring process for that going?
That's going very well. The police officers, we've got some new ones coming in. I can't tell you specifically how many we've hired over the past couple of months, but I do know we have some new ones. We have had some very long-term retirements this year as well, so that always is a hit, but very positive that we have individuals that have put in such a great and rewarding career and then that are able to retire from our organization. I can't tell you exactly how many of those openings we have, but I do know we still are hiring there. And then I'll just elaborate on some of our other openings.
Sure.
We've been hiring firefighter paramedics, firefighter EMTs. We have, I believe, 6 of those starting within the next month.
Mm-hmm.
Still a few openings. And then we're also going to be dealing with a couple more retirements over the next few months there. Our utilities department, that's probably where we have the most vacancies right now. Utility workers, the individuals that you might see out helping, whether it's helping with the fire hydrant draining or working on the water main breaks.
Yeah.
Or, and then even a few individuals that are plant operators, both at our water and wastewater treatment plants. Those are definitely some areas that we've been hiring, but high demand there. It's tough work, but we bumped the pay there and offer some great benefits on top of that. So individuals that like to be outside and are very mechanically inclined, like to do that type of work, could be a great opportunity and a great career.
Yeah,
take a look at this.
Definitely. And it's important work.
Absolutely.
If the wastewater treatment plant's not operating correctly, there's a lot of consequences to that. So,
yeah, something that always stuck with me when we would do an orientation of type, and some of our department heads would gather to meet our new employees. One of our former fire chiefs always explained to our new employees, and this would have been in my early days, but it always stuck with me that there is no such thing as a small job here.
right.
Like every one of our employees plays such a significant part in each of their departments and in providing services to our community, and that is so true.
Yeah, definitely. I see it every day.
Right.
Just going around and talking to various people in different departments, and that's one thing I like about my job is that I get to work with people from all 12 departments in the city, and it really gives me a really good idea of the kinds of things that people do and how important they are to how the city runs.
Yeah, until I joined the city, I had no idea all the different roles and different types of skill sets that we needed here. I don't recall, but I want to say we have approximately 240 different job classifications within our organization, and ranging everywhere from custodian, up to the plant operators that I mentioned, and department heads, and everything in between.
Right. Yeah, you get to meet people from all walks of life here, which I really enjoy as part of my job. So you've been the Human Resources Director for quite a long time now. is it easier to hire people now? Is it harder to hire people? What kinds of trends do you notice in recruiting?
I would say it's getting harder, and I know that we're not alone in that challenge. I think there's a few things that play into that. We have more turnover. Individuals, when I started, we had a lot more of our employees that may start and retire from the city, and just across the board in all different sectors. Individuals want to experience different things, and they may have 5, 6, 7 different types of occupations or careers in their lifetime. And so that definitely works against being able to hire people on and have them here through retirement. We're still going to try. That's one of the challenges. Some of the challenges is it is very difficult work. I would say we used to be at a disadvantage of pay against some private sector, but we've made some changes, increased our pay in a variety of areas, have a new pay plan that we implemented at the end of 2022. That's definitely helping. And then just sometimes it definitely is a calling of those that want to be serving and in the public sector. Sometimes individuals like to criticize those that work in the public sector more, so that's one of the things we battle against. But when we can redirect and remind our employees of how important their job is, it's not just about the bottom line and that they really are serving, I think that kind of helps keep us centered.
Yeah, I think one of the challenges in hiring these days is just the competition, first of all, and not only the pay, but the benefits packages. And I know that you've worked quite a lot on improving those benefits over the course of time. So tell us a little bit about the kinds of benefits that someone could expect if they work at the city.
So I'll start with health insurance, because I know that's a really big one. And our health insurance is just excellent. Yes, the cost across the board is going up, employee shares, but the cost that the city contributes to, it continues, and that's driven by just the medical industry and the health insurance market. Our health insurance, it includes the medical, it includes dental and prescription. Great coverage. We also, we not only provide 80% covered for single plans, but we also have those that maybe just have one spouse or a dependent or a full family. In addition to the health insurance, we've added some optional vision coverage, and that's been really, really popular with a lot of our employees. Great participation there. And then just in terms of the types of compensation, we've enhanced that and expanded it. We've expanded shift differential. Those that work before 6 a.m. or after 6 p.m. get a little bump in pay for those hours that cross those time frames. We've added some standby pay for those that are expected to maybe be available to call in if needed, and we know that could be happening. They are now compensated with some standby pay for that. We do offer bilingual pay, so individuals that can utilize those bilingual skills that serve our citizens and serve our organization, they'll receive additional money there. We've added some, I'm trying to think here, I know we've just really, callback pay. So when individuals do have to respond and come back, they're paid at their overtime rate for a minimum of 2 hours. So understanding people like their work-life balance and like that home time like we all do, when they are inconvenienced, at least now we are able to reward them financially a little bit for those times. And then we started some referral awards, so we know that some of our employees are our best recruiters, so we thought, well, rather than just pay for advertising dollars, let's give them some incentive when they say, hey, I know someone that might be really good at this, and they share some job openings. So they get some rewards and bonuses there. And then a really popular big one, we expanded and increased the amount of vacation that we offer for all of our employees. So in addition to giving more time off, and that increases over the course of years of experience, we also found that new employees were often, if they were leaving an employer and had vacation, that was kind of a setback. So we fronted them their first 6 months, which is, the half a year. So half of their vacation, at the time they start with us, they would have it available to use. Still have to, of course, schedule and go through things with their supervisors, but we found that to be very attractive, and individuals appreciate having a little bit of time off and flexibility at the time that they start with us. I think I covered a lot of them, but
Yeah.
we've really made a lot of changes the past 2 years or so.
Yeah, just as an example, I've been with the city 4 years, and I now have 3 weeks of vacation a year now. So that's really, and it used to be like, I want to say closer to 10 years before you got that 3 weeks.
Yeah, so we bumped there. And then one thing, too, we are talking, it's not a combined paid time off or PTO plan, so that's vacation time. But we also offer, for our full-time employees, 96 hours of sick leave that they have available should they need it. There's obviously going to be different criteria that have to qualify for that.
Sure.
But kind of a safety net if they were to get sick, individuals in their household get sick and they need to provide care or whatever that might be, sick leave on top of that vacation time.
And it's unlimited accrual for that.
Correct, yep. So we don't cap that. We do cap how much if someone leaves our organization after 5 years and meets the other criteria of what we consider in good standing, then they get a third of that paid out.
And I think that's highly unusual, because when I left my last job to come here, I had quite a bit of sick time built up, and I didn't get any of it. So that's a big thing to me.
Yeah, it's, we don't want people to come to work when they don't feel well, but by the same token, we might as well reward them a little bit for the good attendance and when they're not abusing that luxury that's been provided for that sick leave.
One thing I don't think we mentioned was the like retirement packages, like like Mission Square, which is a 457B type of savings account. And so tell us a little bit about that.
So that particular option, that is a voluntary retirement where individuals can just say, hey, this is important to me and I want to set aside some money, tax-free, into that account, and helps it set aside and keep it in my retirement for the future. And then whether it's our police and fire, which would be our KP&F, or our full-time employees or classified part-time employees, that's the KPERS, the Kansas Public Employee Retirement System. Excellent benefits there too. People don't have the ability to opt out of those, but probably for the best because of how solid and strong those retirement benefits are.
Right. And the KPERS and KP&F will provide pensions when you retire.
Yes.
And that's very unusual in today's world. Not many companies are offering pensions once you retire.
Right.
So what other challenges have you had that you've had success in dealing with?
So the recruitment, we've really been expanding that. And we have someone in my office that is a designated recruitment coordinator. That's new. She's only been doing that job just under 2 years, I believe now. To really have to be more proactive. Looking back, I don't know how we were fitting it all in and getting the word out there on all of our jobs previously. So she's attending a lot of job fairs. She's doing online virtual fairs, expanding our online presence on a number of the recruitment platforms. And then we are looking to, and we've done a little, but we'll continue to expand some of the social media that we do to get the word out about some of the job openings and career growth and things like that we might offer. So that's, we've really expanded that, and that seems we are definitely seeing an increased number of our applicants there.
Yeah, I know us in the media department, we've been putting a lot more of those, the flyers that she creates on our social media sites and Facebook and Instagram especially. So hopefully that has provided some modicum of success there.
Yes, yes, and we apologize for all the work we're sending your way, but we are very much appreciated that it's definitely helping reach some individuals that are interested in our organization. And I've really focused on our full-time jobs, but I really should mention too, in addition to those, the side jobs, the summer jobs, we hire 300 to 350 annually to help us cover all that extra. Primarily, that's going to be in our Parks and Rec department, whether it's Kenwood Cove or helping with the different athletics that occur, but summer camps, camp counselors, I know I'm forgetting some of them, but we have a really wide variety of just those seasonal jobs that we hire for also.
Yeah, my son, when he was in high school, he worked in the pro shop at the golf course.
Golf course, right.
And he also did some umpiring for the games over at Bill Burke. So it was a great way for him to make money while he was in high school.
Yep, and I know we've had him more than 1 year, so I hope he continues to come back.
Yeah, well, he was back between his freshman and sophomore year last summer,
Very good.
and so we'll see what he wants to do in the future. So obviously a big part of your job is recruiting, but some of it has to do with supporting employees after they become employees here. So tell us some of the things that your department does in that regard.
Yeah, so we really try to help, whether it's benefit questions or policy questions or even just payroll questions. We get a lot of different inquiries there. We're also working with your department on a new intranet that we hope that will have a good tool, a good resource for all of our employees to be able to refer to. And we're also looking at expanding some training and things like that. We do some supervisor training, and we are seeing now an increase of us creating our own supervisors. That's happened in some of our areas, but the demand there is greater now, and it makes sense. Those that know the job, we need to give them a skill set and help them grow in so they can train those to do their job and learn how to supervise. But those are definitely some different skills and some additional things that people take for granted, that it's some work to be the boss.
Right, absolutely. You deal with people applying for jobs all the time. What are some tips that you have to maybe help them gain an advantage or help to have a better application and experience?
So one thing that is a little bit unique about, and I shouldn't say it's unique, but a lot of times people will contact Human Resources and they just assume that anyone in HR is the one processing and interviewing the hires. And we actually, because we have so many different departments and so many different roles, that our hiring supervisors, sometimes it's the division heads, sometimes it's the department heads, actually go through all of their applicants and select their hiring pool. So individuals might be potentially interviewing with anywhere from 1 to 5 different people at different times, depending upon what they where they find their skill set and their match. What they can do to at least get that opportunity or to increase their chances of getting that is to spend just a few minutes on the application and make sure the skill sets and some of their work history is filled in. And why that's so important is we publish our position descriptions, and those dictate what we have to have for minimum qualifications for people. And as long as they are meeting those minimums and can demonstrate that they've got the skill set that they're after, the chances of the supervisors contacting them to want to talk about a job opening are far going to exceed those that have very, very limited information, limited blanks, or a lot of blanks on the work history and that type of thing. The other thing that individuals really can do to help themselves is if they've applied and then maybe they are reapplying a time later, to go in and update their work history. Because when they fill out that application, they're saying that it's true and accurate, But a lot of times people forget about, oh, they have a new job since then, and they don't go and keep that updated and fresh and include all of the new skills or additional work experience that they have that they really should communicate to who was ever taking a look to say, hey, we might want them to be an employee. And then contact information is critical. It's becoming more and more common where our supervisors can't get a hold of people to call them. They call them for an interview, and either their voicemail box hasn't ever been set up or it's full, and there's no way to leave a message. And then if they try email, people don't communicate via email as much as they used to, or people forget to check it regularly. But I would say those things are crucial if they're actively searching for a job, to make sure that their voicemail message is ready to receive messages and their email is being checked. So if we can get them scheduled for an interview, that's probably the two ways that we're going to reach out.
So details matter.
They do matter. Yes, absolutely.
So if someone is going through the interview process and they're lucky enough to get a job offer, what happens after that? They just don't say yes and then just start coming to work.
So depending upon what the job is, so I would say standard, they're going to have to provide information to a company that we do a background check, or that we contract for them to do that. So they will need to fill that information out, and that, if the potential employee or the applicant gets that done right away, it's usually a pretty quick turnaround that we usually have results back within a couple of days. And then after that, depending upon the role again, there could be some post-offer pre-employment physicals, or at the very least, very likely a drug screen. And it would be someone in HR reaching out to schedule all of that. And it goes back to that contact information. The quicker we can reach people, the quicker we can get that moving and hopefully get them to join. We know that, especially if current employer situations, that someone might need to give a 2 weeks notice or a period of time, and we fully respect that. We actually appreciate it because we think that then if employees need to leave us for whatever reasons down the road, that they would extend that same courtesy. But yeah, very variable. Our police and fire have more vigorous physicals and different tests that they would have to go for probably pretty apparent reasons, the physical demands. Some of our jobs, sanitation department, utilities, maybe our streets and landfill, they would have maybe more, depending upon what job it is, they might have a little more physical requirements, and then their post-offer physical might be a little more demanding, and then, but not all of our jobs require that.
Right. Okay, so if someone is interested in applying for one of the open positions at the city, how do they go about doing that?
Yeah, so they can find a variety of different ways to get to our job board from our main website, which is www.salina-ks.gov. They can also go straight to our job application site by going www.jobs.salina-ks.gov. Or just do searches. I think Google search City of Salina jobs, and it's probably going to lead individuals there. We do require applications. If people want to upload resumes and cover letters, they most certainly can do that as well. But that job application information, I can't stress that enough, is really what we need individuals to put some information in. We do have some additional processes. That is, I guess, one of the challenges that I didn't mention is sometimes it does take us a little bit longer because of the timelines that we have to leave jobs open and some of those things, and then as well as we do the background check and those things before someone starts and not after. I hear stories of people going to a job interview and getting hired on the spot, and they start the next day. But we do have some other things that we have to make sure we're doing appropriately before we can move that quick, but we'll still try to get people in as soon as possible. The different job openings are available there, and I would say If someone looks and isn't interested, check back the next week because they're updated weekly.
Okay. All right. Yeah. When I went through my process, it was actually pretty easy to just apply right from that website and go from there. So we try to make it as easy as possible for people to apply if they're interested.
And we would welcome people calling and following up, or if they have questions on the status of different job openings, they can contact Human Resources, and we'll try to put them in touch with the hiring supervisor or reach out and get back to the individual. We are trying to be flexible and understanding that people might not be able to have interview slotted only one given point during the day, and it might take us a week or so to get all the different interviews slated for any different opening, but they could follow up with HR for information, or we'll try to put them in touch with the hiring supervisor if they have specific questions.
Okay. All right. Okay. I think we've covered everything that I think we needed to cover. So
Yeah.
I've learned a lot about human resources, and hope our viewers and listeners did too. So, Natalie, thanks for being on the program
Sure,
today.
thank you.
And thank you for listening and watching, and we'll see you next time on Cityscope.